You know what it is! It's Taco Tuesday!
Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Taco, and I'm back with another banger. This weekend is setting up to be the biggest mint and probably just the biggest event ever in the NFT space. 12 months ago, a project called Bored Ape Yacht Club launched and minted and forever changed the NFT space to where it is now. As you all know, Bored Ape Yacht Club is the best performing, the biggest NFT project ever. I think that entire ecosystem has brought generational wealth and really life-changing money to anyone that has held it, been a part of it, and really backed Yuga Labs and that team overall, all while innovating the space. For the most part, across the board, all the projects that we see minting today have taken some kind of inspiration or part of the Bored Ape roadmap into the project that they're building or launching. This weekend, Yuga Labs and Bored Ape Yacht Club on Saturday, April 30th are finally launching the long-awaited The Otherside, which is going to be the metaverse for the Bored Ape Yacht Club, but what I think to be really the metaverse for Web3 in general. In this video, I'm going to cover all the information that we know around the Otherside, including how to mint and how that whole process goes down, along with really what the Otherside is all about, but more importantly, how to capitalize on this entire event and situation, and really the opportunities from now until mint, and really how it's going to affect the rest of the NFT market even after it mints out. Before we ape into things, make sure you guys hammer the like button, subscribe to the channel so you guys don't miss out on the upcoming projects that I talk about, that early alpha, and really just my analysis and opinions on the market and trends overall. I, like I'm sure many of you watching, don't hold a Bored Ape. I don't even have a mutant or the Bored Ape Kennel Club either. So really this is going to be the first chance in a while with, you know, a massive supply to actually finally get involved and get exposure into, you know, the Bored Ape and Yuga Lab ecosystem. So Yuga Labs actually tweeted on March 18th about the Otherside with this trailer talking about how it's powered by ApeCoin. Yuga acquired Meebits, they acquired CryptoPunks, which was a massive acquisition, and it had all the hints that this metaverse and really the Otherside in general was going to be fully powered by ApeCoin itself, which was airdropped to holders of Bored Ape Yacht Club and then mutants as well. So this video, the trailer that they released, was produced extremely well. This really is a, you know, very short example of the quality and really the possibilities with the Bored Ape brand overall. When you're skimming through this trailer, you can get an idea of kind of the various different types of land. So we had kind of like a lava, a fire one, maybe there's some ice there. This one looks almost a bit more magical and like kind of space themed. The biggest thing in this trailer that you can kind of see on the bottle and then see right here is this character, which is set to probably be the next NFT collection for the Bored Ape Yacht Club ecosystem, and that's going to be Kodas. So a while back, a Yuga Labs pitch deck that was going to be pitched to VCs was actually leaked, and so the founders came out and said, you know, this was a pitch deck, but it's outdated, it's old, a lot of things have changed since then, but nonetheless, by looking at this massive pitch deck that they created, we can kind of get an idea of some of the things that are coming, and so far a lot of the leaks and what we believe to be true has been true based on the information and announcements that we know as of now. So they talk about the Kodas here, gives you kind of a sneak peek into kind of the lore, but the big thing here is they talk about a meta RPG that will launch alongside the land sale, and that the land spots will basically correspond to real land in the game that is being created. So here they talk about kind of the plots of land, and the key thing to mention here is that each land will have the possibility of containing natural resources, rare artifacts, and if you're lucky, a coda. So I'm not positive if it's been confirmed or not, but the understanding is that about 10% of the land that is created are going to have a chance at having a coda. So once again, this is all just kind of work in progress, just based off the old deck, but these are kind of some of the concept art for the plots of lands, at least in the NFT form, like what you would see on OpenSea. Here are some of kind of, you know, the works in progress of what we've seen for the Kodas. These look very interesting. To be honest, it really has this kind of mythical fantasy creature element. But the thing is that the Kodas, in my opinion, are probably going to settle somewhere above the Bored Ape Kennel Club, but it's probably below mutants, just based off of kind of the mutants, you know, where they're at now in terms of just the status and the ranking among blue chips. I can see the Kodas kind kind of being that tier right below them, but that's just my opinion and speculation based off of, you know, kind of just the art and what we know as of now. The other big things though, when we're talking about a game and having metaverse land, so they talk about a game economy where you're going to be able to take stock of what these different owners have. There's going to be trading, hoarding, buying, and selling. In terms of the game, they're talking about it being massive. It's going to be a live multiplayer experience. Obviously, it's going to be blockchain based where there's going to be, you know, sales and a whole market dynamic. So, you know, they talk about resources, they talk about the Kodas. There's a lot of different things going on here where it seems like Ape token is really going to be the currency that's going to be used to buy and sell a lot more things beyond just the land itself in this metaverse. Now, a key piece of alpha here, and based on this pitch deck, once again, with this land drop happening, you know, here in April, the airdropped Kodas were expected to happen in May. So my understanding is in this weekend, if we don't hear or see anything about the Kodas and it's expected to be a land drop to certain plots, 10% of them, there's going to be a massive incentive for people to hold the land and the plots that they mint until at least the airdrop. And really what I'm thinking is that as soon as you get your land and you're going to be able to explore whatever is going on in this kind of universe, they talked about natural resources and being able to, you know, explore and whatever else. If there's actually resources and things that can already be gamified, already have value on the secondary market or just in game, whether it's in ETH or in the Ape token, that's going to incentivize people who have already kind of used this land and operated on it to get comfortable with it, to see the value in it. And then once the airdrop happens, you know, potentially in May, and, you know, whether you're lucky or not, if you're already extracting value from this land and this metaverse that's being built up, it's going to even incentivize you to hold it whether you get a Koda or not. So that's kind of my thinking around this. Like I said, if you are able to get a land plot, it makes sense to hold at least until the Kodas, because I think that is going to be the collection that really goes parabolic beyond just the land itself. There's only going to be 10,000 of them. And once again, it's going to have, you know, that PFP kind of style where you're going to be able to flex it on Twitter and everything else with, you know, all these different land projects. They kind of fade after the hype if they don't have real utility or real game or whatever else. And I'm assuming for what Yuga and Bored Ape are creating, a game is probably going to be at least a year out. So just earlier today, we finally got information about the mint process for this weekend. So the confirmed information is that it is going to be on the 30th. It's going to start at 12 p.m. Eastern, and they already listed the Otherside.xyz as a site where the mint will take place. So if you did KYC, you can check on the Something is Brewing website. And for those of you who aren't familiar, KYC means know your customer, which basically means that you have to provide, you know, an ID or a passport and essentially dox yourself, you know, give your personal information. So to participate in the mint on Saturday, you did have to KYC. That was open for like 2 weeks around early and mid-March. But really what I've seen on Twitter, which is extremely interesting, and even in Discord and some of the groups I'm in, it seems like there is a group of people who KYC'd who don't have ApeCoin, and then there are people who have ApeCoin who didn't KYC. And I understand why a lot of people didn't KYC. It's kind of against the anonymity and really the decentralization aspect of Web3, where you're kind of getting away from who you are. You're kind of able to be this, you know, internet identity in a way. So it's a very interesting mint. It's going to cut out a lot of whales. A lot of people who didn't KYC are not going to be able to participate in this mint. Also, the mint is going to be exclusively in ApeCoin, which is crazy. So you're going to have a allocated amount of ApeCoin to mint it, but you will need ETH for the gas part. So you can fully expect probably a gas war. And in terms of the price, that is the one thing that has not been confirmed as of yet. I'm sure we can expect that probably later in the week. It is going to be a Dutch auction style. So even if you KYC'd, you're not on a whitelist or anything like that. It's going to be Dutch auction, which is why I mentioned the gas war aspect. And obviously with a Dutch auction, it will decline over time. If you hold a Bored Ape or a mutant, you will have 21 days to claim a free plot of land, which is awesome. First phase was set to be 100,000 plots of land, with Bored Apes and mutants obviously getting one for each that they hold. We're looking at probably 55,000 land being available to the public, which you know, in any other circumstance, we would say that is just an insane amount. But anything with Bored Ape and Yuga Labs, I don't even think 55,000 is that crazy, or 100,000 in general. The demand is going to be there. Now, in terms of the limits per wallet, you're going to have up to 45, which is a crazy amount. But once again, we don't know really the starting price. So with it being 45, my guess is there's not a ton of people that KYC'd, and that's kind of the consensus that I've seen on Twitter. So once again, if you did KYC, you're going to be in a really good situation. If you are able to get one in the Dutch auction, I really don't see how you're going to, you know, lose money in this process. I really think you're going to come up on a bag. Now, in terms of just opportunity and really analysis into the greater NFT market, I think the event that's going to happen on the 30th is going to be even bigger than Moonbirds, which if we really thought anything was going to be bigger than this Moonbirds launch and mint, I think, you know, it would be crazy, but this is the only thing that I can think that is going to outdo it. And I mean, Moonbirds, I don't even know when it launched. Like what? It's been maybe a week, you know, slightly over a week, over 115,000 ETH in volume. I think it's a top 10 project in volume all time. Floor is obviously sitting at 31 ETH here, although it is pretty volatile throughout the day. But this is going to be bigger than that. You know what I mean? I understand the supply is 100,000, but just overall, it is going to have a way bigger impact on this market. And the reason being is that Moonbirds was largely VC money. It was a lot of outside money that kind of came into the space for the first time. A lot of those guys were probably buying their first NFTs, and they were really just backing Kevin Rose and the team that they have there. Whereas with Yuga Labs, that same thing is going to happen, but it's also going to be a lot more Web3 NFT centric, meaning that a lot of people that are already in this ecosystem, that are already in some of these top blue chip projects or even mid chip projects or whatever else, those that have been in this space, a lot of them, their goal is to eventually have a Bored Ape, to have a mutant. So this is going to be huge for them to, you know, liquidate any NFTs that they have or that they really don't care about, to get as much as they can for this weekend, to hopefully get a plot of land, hopefully hit the Kodas, which we know are, at least I know, they're going to go just parabolic. Like that 10K collection of Kodas is going to go crazy. I talked about this already. You know, we're seeing Bored Ape at its all-time high. We're seeing mutants at their all-time high. We're seeing the Kennel Club. I don't know if that's at its all-time high, but it's been around 7 or 8 for quite a while, and it's at, you know, 12. I think it got as high as 14 or 15 in the past few days. We're starting to see some red, you know, across the board in a lot of these collections that have been performing well over the past few days and weeks. I think as we get closer to Saturday, we're going to see a lot of these blue chip projects like Cool Cats, I think just got up to like 8 or 9. They're already back down to 6.7. So we're going to see a lot of these projects that had a big pump in the past few days or weeks, or even they've been maintaining a solid floor. We're going to see a lot of liquidity move out of these projects and just into the sidelines waiting for what happens this weekend. That's not necessarily a bad thing though. Let's say, you know, you don't have ApeCoin, you didn't KYC, you don't want to be involved in the Dutch auction, and the secondary could just absolutely moon off the get-go. You could be priced out, and that's fine. I think in general, I'm just excited to watch this go down on the 30th, to see the dynamics of all of this, to see what the other side is really all about. I think, you know, a project like Azuki, where, you know, it's been at 24 ETH, if that goes sub 20, that's going to be a great buying sign. There's a lot of these other projects, Artifact, Doodles, there's a ton of these projects that are, you know, blue chips or, you know, even mid-tier that, you know, they have some big things coming up. I think this is going to be a great time to get in on them while they're down, while they're low, because really, if this Otherside announcement and this day really lives up to be, you know, one of the biggest weekends for NFTs overall, and you're going to see it all in the press and all in the news and everything else, it's going to see a massive flood of normies and people who are maybe in crypto or maybe not in crypto or NFTs at all, really catch sight to what's going on in NFTs, and it could really spark a bull run into the summer, even though short term I think it will be a bit bearish for any other project outside the Yuga Labs ecosystem. So keep an eye out on those projects that maybe you've been priced out on, maybe you've had your eye on. There's definitely going to be some opportunity to get in while a lot of this liquidity sucked up and these floors dip down. I know I covered a lot in this video. There's a lot going on. I really do believe this is probably going to be a historic weekend, and I think it's going to change how we think about digital assets moving forward, really change and develop what is going to potentially be the metaverse, and really just kind of the future of the internet overall, which I think is just super cool. But if you guys aren't already, follow me on Twitter to get really kind of my market analysis analysis, what projects I'm looking into and talking about before I cover them on the channel. And then as always, hammer the like button, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, what are your thoughts on the other side? Are you looking forward to this weekend? And until next time, I'm out.